Welcome back. This is part 2 of the service / maintenance / fixing things that were wrong on my bike. If you haven't already watched part 1, then it'll be linked below, or you can just find it on the channel. It's the most recent video before this. You seem to really like it, which is very nice. It was obviously a bit of a different video than normal because it was much more knowledgeable, thanks to James. Again, all of his details are on the screen. If you are in the area, then I can highly recommend him for any bike work that you might need doing. Today was less intensive than day 1. It was mostly chain and throttle bodies, but still very, very informative. And again, another crash course in mechanics for me. So without further ado, here is the rest of the little service that we had done. Enjoy.
And that is out by a long way.
So the sprockets are aligned?
So if you come down the back, and what you need to do, if you place that on the sprocket,
yeah,
you can look down the line of the chain.
Yeah.
You can see where the red light is. That red light should be touching the actual links of the chain.
I see.
So you're out slightly on there, on
Yeah.
the drive. Yes, the fluid in the rear was pretty much the same as the fluid in the front.
Oh yeah, look, it's a different colour now.
What we're going to do is we're going to twist the wheel now to align the alignment on it. And you'll find it'll be a nice smoother drive now with a straight chain, and it'll be easier to wheel as well because you're not trying to fight. You've got a sprocket offset like that,
Yeah.
and you're trying to fight the chain at a diagonal now. And metal chains don't like going diagonally.
It's funny, I can see it appearing on more and more links as you change it.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see it on.
Yeah.
See it on as many links as you can. So if you look down along that laser line now,
Yeah. It follows it all the way down.
follows line all the way down now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In theory, that should, and hopefully we haven't lost too much tension in it. So it sounds so knocky as it's going forward. The caliper slider this side,
Yeah.
obviously the caliper and the pads are identical to the front and rear. That slider we pulled out the front, this side, I had to use a few lever bars to get that out. So that was obviously
It was that
contributing.
stiff?
Yeah. As soon as I pulled the caliper off the wheel, you could feel the wheel moving straight away. Those bearings haven't gone.
Good.
Yeah, I
Don't need any more happening.
don't want to be pulling any wheels out today and trying to change them out. Right, front and rear done. It's got brakes now. It will stop. Right, let's see what we like at getting this tank up then. We'll change the plugs. I take it these have got comes all on the side.
Yeah, just the pops. Which way down? I think I just slide the tank back and then over. Yeah.
Oh, and it would have a full tank of fuel in it, wouldn't it?
I can't remember actually.
That makes it heavy. Completely take that right off out of the way for now. Your air filter's going to be interesting because it's all in here.
Right.
That's going to be interesting. Which way round does it go?
Bike looks even more like a corpse than it did yesterday.
It's surprising how much a tank makes the bike look odd, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've never seen this part before.
So, air filter box. This is what we call your throttle bodies. And these are your injectors, one there and one there. They're the injectors that inject the fuel in. This obviously sucks the air into the engine itself. Like old bikes have carbs. You have 2 throttle bodies, which is the same as a carburetor. It does the same job.
Yeah.
It mixes the air and the fuel together. Yours just does it under high pressure on injection, and a carburetor bike does it under vacuum pressure. And these are what we call your coil packs. They sit on top of the spark plug and they generate the spark.
Is that the other one?
Yep. So now we can get the plugs out. He says.
They're buried so far.
To be honest, yours are really easy to get to compared to some bikes.
Yeah, I suppose there's not a lot on this bike.
Your framework and your engine is very, very upright. Now looking at a spark plug gives you a good indication of how well the bike's running on fuel.
Okay.
So if it's really, really black, you're running really heavy on fuel, you're burning too much fuel. If it's really, really white, you're running not enough fuel. And yours isn't too bad, to be honest. They're not too bad. They're a little bit brown, so they're burning reasonably well. They're aged out more than anything, so they're not too bad.
So we found one good thing she's been doing.
She's not been running too bad, yeah.
Then again, what would cause the engine to be running too lean or too rich?
Not on an injection bike, it will be down to your engine management.
Right.
So if your fuel temperature, your engine temperature sensor was faulty, and it would think it's slightly too cold and it's not reading the right temperature, it would say, oh, we're a bit cold, we'll stick a bit more choke on and we'll add more fuel. Or it reads the wrong way and it says we're boiling hot, you know, take some fuel out of it just to try and cool it down. Air pressure sensor in the airbox, that detects the air temperature in your airbox. So if that's faulty, again, that tells that sensor, those two have a reading between each other and say, it's -2 outside, dump loads more fuel in.
Yeah.
And it all works in the brain, it all balances it all self out.
This is her brain, we're doing brain surgery.
Yeah. So, right, they're back in. Right, air filter. We're going to play, and what we'll do is actually, we'll tuck this up a bit neater out the frame, and we'll cable tie it up here, tucked it down the back there out of the way, just so it's not going to interfere with anything. Tuck it in the loom slightly. Right, let's have a look and see what we can do about your air filter. What's going on here then? They might have to move, part of that loom might have to move.
I wonder what that panel was for. I remember taking it
I wonder
off.
if that is an access panel just for the filter and you kind of squeeze it into place. Some of them, because it's just a rigid foam filter like that, might be just a case of you just fold it and tuck it into place. It'd be nice if it is. And I don't have to try and get the whole airbox out.
So is she going to be nice?
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. Okay.
Okay, well that's nice. That's why it's in a service kit now. So that's just like a little case to keep it together.
Yeah. That's quite heavily blocked there, look.
Right.
So that will restrict your airflow.
Which means it's not had its full power.
No, it's not at its full potential. Right, I'm trying to work out how I can prop your tank up so I can get the fuel pump in there, but I need to access that in there. And then I can synchronise your carbs, your throttle bodies, so they work together. And again, that will give it a lot more smoother,
right,
and potentially generate that little bit more power.
Also more power. Lovely.
So they're not. So at the moment, I'm going to say, at the moment, you're potentially fighting against one cylinder against the other. They're not working in synchro. What you want is them to work parallel together, and it'll be smoother through the power. Down the bottom end, it'll be more controllable. It won't be so snatchy. That goes on there like that, and then that one. That one hopefully seals enough on there.
Just the reader.
And this is a reader, yeah. Number 2's not getting a vacuum, that's not tight enough vacuum. That's alright then. that needs... Right, that's not quite tight enough on there. Okay. So one's obviously working slightly more than the other one. All that work for 30 seconds work. But in the long run, you'll feel it in the drive of the bike.
Right.
It'll be smoother, or as you go up through the rev range, it'll be like smoother, crisper. You won't have to work it as hard to get it up through the power now, because obviously they're working together.
Why was the left one like moving and the right stagnant? Is that just how
so
they
you
act?
have a master and then you have a slave. So one of them you can control. One of them is your set value that it needs to be set to. So obviously what I've done after working out which one was the master and that, I closed the air dampener down. So on the top of my gauge I've got these lovely fish tank air dampeners, and all there is a screw, and they reduce the load so it stops it fluttering too much. So once I'd worked out that one was the master, I closed that one up a little bit more so it holds it steady. Yeah. And I can see the fine line where it needs to be, and the other one you can leave fluttering just slightly, because that's the one you want to see move up and down a lot cleaner and crisper. Causing too much damage to anything. Twist the pipe slightly. Oh wow, no, that is actually going to go back. It actually will spin. Thank you, bike. Playing ball today. Let's just tuck that loom back down there where it came from, that's it. So, let's hook you back into place. Oh. That's about right. We are pretty much there now, aren't we? Clean and grease the chain. I think that's about it, isn't it? Yeah.
And you just built me a new bike.
Fingers crossed it's going to drive lovely down the road. Unfortunately, there is no right or way wrong with cleaning a chain. Yeah. And no matter what you do to it, as soon as you ride it down the road, yeah, it's going to get dirty again. It's going to be absolutely contaminated again. Yeah. Tiny little bit of play in your cush drive. Not a lot. Might want doing before you get rid of the bike. Just over the summer season. With the mileage you're doing, you see the movement in that. Yeah. So all it is there's rubber blocks behind there. You take the wheel out, take the sprocket carrier out, there's rubber blocks, and that takes the torque and strain from the chain to the wheel, so it's not so bitey and juddery. Yeah, I remember those from when we were changing them over. Right. Let's put a bit of thick oil in it first and leave it running with some thick oil in. And what that will do is it will soak into all the links, proper chain oil, and then we'll put a bit of banana over the top just to seal it all in. This is just a heavy duty machine chain oil.
She's sighing with relief. She's like, are we done now?
Finished poking, prodding and probing me. If you don't know...
You learn the hard way.
Yeah, if you don't know what a maintenance schedule is, when this should be changed, how it should be changed, how do you change that bit, then you're not going to know and you're not going to get it done.
No. She's fed up of being on trailers now.
Needs to be out in the open.